And we're live. Hello, everybody. It's 3 o'clock on the 7th of October. I'm Dr. Nelson Vasquez from Central Florida. And today we have Dr. Ana Rosa with us. Where are you in this world today, Doctor?
I am in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm very grateful to be here with you all.
All right. Thank you for being here. And if you could please put in the chat where you're watching from, I would appreciate it. And the same, anyone listening in any of our platforms, just put the question in the chat preceded by a QQQ so I don't miss it. Uh, and I'll repeat it later, but we're going to give away Dr. Nelson hat.
Oh,
Oh, I don't have it around with me, but uh, we have some promotional items. One of Have you seen the hat that you normally wear?
no, I have not
No,
yet.
no.
Yes.
Okay. I, in a second, when you're talking, I'll go and grab it.
Yeah, I just recently started being more active on social media. So then
Okay.
that's when I started knowing you all. Yeah.
All right. So good. Let's see. We have some people. Cheryl, of course,
Mhm.
from Pittsburgh, and Larry from
Chicago.
Chicago, Chi-Town. Main runner from where else? Maine.
Yep. Good afternoon.
Hello, Don. Yes, put hashtag KMT for the hat, okay? Oh, proud American from Port St. Lucie. I go to Port St. Lucie occasionally for spring training because I am a New York Mets fan, and that's the home of their spring training facility, Port St. Lucie.
Yeah.
All right. Earl Ish, George, how are you doing? From the UK. Great. Sandy.
Good afternoon.
All right.
KMT, hashtag KMT. Yep.
All right. So, oh, one more different place, Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. All right. So, today we have Dr. Ana Rosa, whose main channel is Instagram, and she goes by Ana Rosa Gratitude, right?
Yes.
And I'm very glad you are able to do this because we just asked you yesterday.
Yes, yeah, I'm really
But
grateful and I'm honored.
so let's start with telling us some of your story of healing, and I know that that includes some sad moments as well. But if your elevator pitch
Yes,
version of your story, okay? And
yes,
I'll go and grab the hat
the
while you.
hat.
Go ahead.
So I am Ana Rosa. I am a medical doctor. I was born in Brazil and I got married in 2008 and moved here to the United States. I had done my radiology residency in Brazil and also here in the United States. I have been working as a radiologist for 30 years already. And in 2016, my husband died with colon cancer stage 4, and I started my journey of healing myself, my body, my mind through grief and through gratitude and working on mindset strategies for questioning beliefs and thoughts and behaviors and patterns that hold us back and sabotage us to be the best version of ourselves. I love the hat. And yes, so then I was 226 pounds and I did keto for a while and I did carnivore for a while. And again, because of old patterns and behaviors, I would always gain weight, not as much, but I would always end up gaining weight again. In 2020, I became certified coach in different things, grief and metabolic health and menopause and high performance. Anyway, and I started working with Sean O'Mara, Dr. Sean O'Mara. I started doing his strategies for nutrition and body, which are mainly carnivore and the live food, the fermented fruits and veggies. And I am in a process of reverting my visceral fat. I lost many pounds and I decreased my visceral fat, which is visible on my MRIs. And I'm very, very happy. And I'm really launching a challenge soon, this week or next week, and it's called Optimize You. And it has nutrition and body strategies very similar to Sean and very similar to what you all are used to do. However, there is a touch of my heart and my soul with the mindset and the neuroplasticity. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat. Uh, as you can
Yes.
see, looks like Alia and Dr. Kills put a comment, but no, that was me. Uh, they're not here. But put the questions in the chat. Okay, so you mentioned high performance, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna take this off, but this is the hat we're giving away, the gray one today.
I
Okay,
love it.
there is I don't have I don't have it in my hands. It's gonna say Dr. Nelson and Kiltz Health on the back. Black one and gray that hopefully they'll be available in Hack Your Health for sale, or maybe to give away. Maybe we'll give away some. All right.
Yes.
So we talk about exercise, and you concentrating all this training, and you're putting an emphasis on visceral fat. Now,
Yes.
what? Let's talk about what the best exercise would be for that. Now, my theory is the best exercise that anybody can do is the one that they are willing to do, right? So if someone's willing to do something and not other things, let's work with them and whatever you're doing, that optimize it and maximize it. But
Yes.
strictly speaking, the most effective ways to achieve performance fitness through exercise will be what, in your opinion?
So I absolutely agree with you, Dr. Nelson. I believe that we have to start exactly where we are, right? If I tell you that the best exercise for reversing visceral fat would be sprinting and exercises that you do that are high intensity until you failure, push-ups or jump jacks, that would be your goal, your aim, your desire. But again, I would say start exactly where you are. When I was 226 pounds, I didn't have energy and my body was all hurting. So I started walking and I started walking on a pace that I could still talk, but not much. And I started walking 3,000 steps and then progressively increased to five, progressively increased to seven until I got to 10. 10 is not really a magical number, it's just for you and I to have a number that we aim to achieve, right? So, and by walking, I have noticed that in average, a person walks 1,000 steps every 10 minutes. So since right now there are many studies showing that being sitting on your desk on your work is as detrimental as smoking, I would say start walking, and every hour that you are working, if you could stand up in your desk, awesome. If you can't, just go outside and walk for 10 minutes or walk around your office for 10 minutes, so then you get your 1,000 steps. If you could add the sunshine, that would be awesome because helps with mitochondrial health and regeneration. Uh, Also, like, I love strength training now. I used to hate it, but now I really like my strength training, and I do it like 3 to 4 times a week because I alternate with my Pilates, which I like for my mind. But again, if you are not able to go to a place for you to do your exercise and strength training, do it in your house with isometric, using your own weight body, right? You could do some push ups on a wall, on your kitchen island. Then you can start like higher standing up, so then you don't hurt yourself, and then you progressively increase the difficulty. You could do some planks, you could do some squats, so that at least you are doing something. Just like if you do 1 minute a day, 2 minutes a day, and you progressively increase, you're going to see improvement. And for women on menopause that are already used to exercise, either by walking or either by strength training, for men too, but mainly I'm bringing it up women because women, we are told to do more, 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 and then it increases even more the stress and the cortisol instead of helping. So I would say a good way of exercising is doing 3 minutes of cardiovascular exercise, maybe 3 times a week, 30 minutes, I'm sorry. And that would be on a treadmill, the cardio level 2, that you get your heart rate increased, that you can still talk, and on a treadmill. Do not run. It is walking in a faster speed on an incline, and do not run. Running, it will stress you more and release more cortisol, and then it definitely will increase your visceral fat and inflammation and insulin resistance instead of being beneficial.
Very, very good. We have a couple of questions, so let's start taking questions and comment. I'm going to put this one first. This is a comment, not a question, but it's very good.
Mhm.
Lois, which I have met in person, and he definitely doesn't have any visceral fat now. But when he started his journey, he says that his smart scale reported a visceral fat value of 20. Um, Now it's 7.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so
It's really important to decrease the visceral fat because visceral fat is almost an autonomous endocrine organ inside of you, and it produces molecules that are inflammatory, that lead to cancer, that are carcinogenic, and also affect the function of your immune system. So when you do anything and everything to decrease your visceral fat, any amount is already a good amount for walking the journey of becoming healthier. Yeah.
so most people I hear about pain, and I had chronic pain. I had plantar fasciitis for 35 years. I
Yep.
had surgery 38 years ago. As a matter of fact, in less than 4 weeks, it'll be 38th anniversary of my surgery. Uh, so I've lived with chronic pain for a long time, and once I went carnivore, pain is gone. The chronic pain is gone. Now, occasionally I may get sore, especially after exercise. Or if I get up in the morning, might take a few minutes, sort of to stretch out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no longer chronic pain. And most people that go carnivore or very low carb experience an improvement in pain. However, Sean says my joint pain seems to be worse on carnivore. What can I do to help this? I'm new to this and I have no idea. What do you think,
So,
Rosa?
yeah, so your I agree with Dr. Nelson. The chronic pain is related to chronic inflammation in your body. So when you start eating low carb or carnivore, you are going to definitely decrease the sugar, the blood sugar, the insulin resistance, and the inflammation. It is a process. So your body is going to heal slowly. At some point, you might feel that it's getting worse. But maybe it's not getting worse only because you are doing carnivore, because I don't believe the carnivore would make your joint pain worse. It might be getting worse because you might be moving more, because you might be doing more exercises, because you might be standing and walking more, which your muscles and your bones were kind of like being replaced by fat and becoming atrophic. So technically they are not used to the weight standing up to walking, because when you walk or when you exercise, you are inducing some uh, micro fractures in your bones, and that leads to bone formation and improvement in your bone mass, but also could lead to some pain, especially if you were extremely sedentary or extremely overweight, right? That would be my thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, often in many things we find that things get worse before they get better as well. So I would say, monitor it. If I don't know how significant the pain is. He didn't say
Yes.
anything about where or mild, moderate, severe. But sometimes you have to go and see the doctor also, right? It, but uh, in general, most people just have improvement in pain, right? This
Yes.
is not a question, but just a comment. Brisket Boomers, that's Amy. I have a Renfro Smart Scale. It rates my visceral fat as a 1. Can I trust that? I think she can because I've seen her in person.
Good. That's good. Yes.
All right.
I would say another way that you could look at your visceral fat without doing an MRI, although the MRI would be the gold standard, is when you lay down on your floor and your back is on the floor, or when you lay down on your bed as well, your mattress. If your belly goes flat or oval, it means you have most likely you have lower visceral fat, and you might have just more like subcutaneous fat in case you have it. But if you lay down and your belly is protuberant, that is visceral fat. Yeah.
all right. By the way, I I had a scale up until yesterday. I had a scale that gave me some body composition numbers. I bought one that has the additional hand electrodes and same brand, so I'm using the same app, and I'm able to compare all the data that I have. Last year at Hack Your Health, and Hack Your Health in 2024 was at the end of May, beginning of June. I had a DEXA body composition scan, and the numbers were almost
Yes.
identical. I know they say that the scales with the bioimpedance is not as accurate. Well, my numbers were identical to my scale, so I feel pretty confident using it. So
Mine
I got
too.
an O1 yesterday, so I'm tracking a few more things. But yeah, they are not they're inexpensive. The You can find one for $20, not with the 8 electrodes, which includes the handheld portion, but uh, the other one,
Yeah,
20. And I've seen them, of course, more expensive, but and doesn't have to be Renfo, although it's a popular one. Mine isn't, anyways.
yeah,
So
and you are very right, because I just did last week DEXA scan, and I did the in-body composition, and
okay,
they
yeah,
are very, very, very similar. So
yeah.
yeah. It's really a good thing to track, because I'm going to be doing another MRI of my belly, and I wanted to look at the numbers for me to say, oh, if you are not able to do an MRI, and I'm using me as my test. If you are not able to do an MRI, although it is the gold standard, there is like these minor differences here and there. Yeah.
All right. So Christine asks, how fermented vegetables improve your life? Things you notice.
So fermented veggies, fermented fruits, fermented dairy like kefir, or good fermented cheeses if you are not like very sensitive to dairy, they improve your health when you eat them together with your meat and your eggs, or like just as garnish. You are not eating them to feed yourself, you are eating them to feed your microbiome, which is the gut, the intestine, the bowel microbes that kind of like govern your brain as well. So there is a strict relation between the gut and the brain in neurotransmitters. Both of them release neurotransmitters. So when you are eating fermented foods, you are healing your gut. There is something called leaky gut syndrome that it's really related to inflammation in your body. So you are healing your gut, and you are shifting the bad microbes that are addicted to sugar, that are addicted to alcohol, that are addicted to carbs. You are starving them. So then they are dying, and you are building more good microbiomes that will definitely decrease your cravings for the things that are not good for your health and leading to inflammation and chronic disease and insulin resistance. Yes.
All righty. Now, we answered part of this question, but our body composition scales rely on measurements of visceral fat. We answered that there. I mean, the gold standard, like you mentioned, is the MRI. The cheaper version will be a DEXA scan. They're more accurate than they're supposed to be more accurate than the scales, but in my mind, the scales are pretty good for what you spend on them. You
Yeah.
know, something you can, even if you spend for the 8 electrode ones, 50 to 125 bucks, which you can find them for that price. It's something you put in your bathroom, you use it repeatedly. So I think it's valuable, even if it's a 25 bucks scale. It gives you something to track and look at if you're keeping score. Now, he gained 20 pounds doing high fat carnivore, and his visceral fat score has increased. What do you think?
Uh, I would say I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I believe that you are eating too much, and because that's the high fat carnivore. You can kind of not being counting calories, sometimes you can eat more than you need. And it's not that you need to count calories, but it's allowing yourself to eat only when you are hungry, not just because it's time to eat, like it's lunchtime or dinner time, and allowing yourself to eat until you feel satiated only, not eating until you are full. And one other thing too, I heard this from Sean, I heard this from other doctors like Dr. Berg, which is keto, and the doctors that talk about this kind of uh, about the food we are eating, right? The high fat carnivore. It's about like when you are still overweight, you should not be eating even more fat because you still have your own fat to burn. So your high fat carnivore could be, instead of eating the fat that comes from the outside, you could count the fat that you have inside your body too. So then you will be burning this fat as you keep going. But you most likely gained visceral fat, and you most likely gained your pounds uh, because you might be overeating or eating more fat than needed. Yes.
All right. Thank you. So Easy says, uh, I don't remember if she was the one who was talking about pain, but any concern of getting gout on a high fat carnivore diet as opposed to a lower fat carnivore diet? Uh, what do you think? My opinion is higher fat doesn't take you anywhere close to risk of gout because it's not the fat that has the purines and the fructose, right? Which many people ignore fructose in the conversation with gout, and it's very important. So don't worry about the high fat. By the way, I think higher fat in proportion is beneficial. It's helpful. When we try to decrease, we don't have to always cut all the fat down and keep the protein up. If you're eating too much, which even though we don't like to talk about calories per se because it's not a perfect science, but it's the
Yes.
thing that we have to compare, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you may need to decrease the total amount of food that you're eating or the energy you're consuming, right? Uh, so whether you use uh, grams of fat or protein to do that, and if you're carnivore, then you don't get concerned about counting carbs because you shouldn't be eating uh, additional non-animal carbs. You know, eggs have maybe 1 gram, and there are a couple of things that are, particularly dairy, will have some carbs. But in general, if you're carnivore, you don't need to count carbs, but you might want to put a limit on the total amount of combined fat and protein, right? And trying to keep the ratio higher on the fat side can be accomplished without eating sometimes in excess. And
Yes.
anyways,
Yes.
that's my 2 cents on that.
I
But
agree.
all right, so let's see. Can you safely use the sauna while fasting? What do you think?
I do, and I've never felt sick. But again, it's a question of being aware of your body, right? I don't do sauna much more than I used to do an 1 hour, but now I've been studying more about it, and I've seen that 30 minutes is a good amount. You don't need to do more than 30 minutes because then you could be even increasing your stress, in fact. So I do sauna when I am fasting. I do strength training when I am fasting. I walk when I am fasting, my steps, my daily steps. But always being mindful to not get dehydrated. You can drink your water with your electrolytes. And don't overdo it. And if you feel a little bit dizzy or a little bit sick when you get out of the sauna, just make sure that you lay down a little bit, put your legs up for the venous return to get better. So it's everything like being aware of how you're feeling because what might not be bad for me might make you feel sick or vice versa, right?
Yeah. Sometimes when we're fasting, we feel a little bit, especially if you don't have blood pressure problems, which, by the way, I used to take 300 milligrams of metoprolol a day and 40 milligrams of lisinopril, and I no longer take it. I have completely reversed, without a doubt. I can probably say cured my hypertension. Uh, but so now the problem is, for example, if I'm fasting, I usually need to drink enough fluids to avoid that sensation of feeling a little bit woozy, right? That
Yes.
could be my blood pressure is borderline. Last time I checked it was like 114 systolic. So, check your blood pressure. If you have a sauna, if you're going to walk into sauna and you're fasting, being aware of how you feel, if you want to check it, check your blood pressure. will help you decide maybe I shouldn't do this now, because being in the sauna for 20, 30 minutes may bring your blood pressure down.
Yes,
So if it's already too low and you're feeling symptoms, maybe it's not the right time to walk into the sauna, right?
absolutely.
Uh, Here's my friend Tony, which I hope to meet someday. But Tony has a very good story, reverse diabetes, among other things. And he says basically about the comment on the pain. Some pain might not completely disappear, but reduce. And this is absolutely true. Carnivore doesn't cure everything, even though we would like to think so. So I have done a lot of pain management as well. And basically, the rule of thumb is any intervention that reduces your pain by 50% is a successful intervention, right? So you could have a severe, severe pain, max pain on the scale 10. If it reduced to 5, that is a successful intervention. Do you still have pain? Yeah. Sometimes we cannot eliminate all pain, but any reduction will be basically successful. Do you do much uh, pain management, like uh, epidural injections and things like that?
No, me, no, I don't,
No.
because
Okay.
I work more with body radiology, and that would be either neuroradiology or interventional radiology. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Tony, are you going to hack your health by any chance? All right. Um, so we have a couple more questions. Let me We answered this one. All right. Larry, I've had a hip replacement, so I don't think I can sprint anymore. What is a good exercise for reducing visceral fat if
So,
you are not able to sprint?
yeah. So first of all, the strategy that is the best strategy to reduce visceral fat is not really related to the exercise. Is related to the nutrition. So the first strategy is eliminate completely 100% all processed foods, sugars, alcohol, and then you decrease your carbs as much as you would want, like to low carb, keto, or carnivore. That's the first strategy that would definitely be the most beneficial and the most fast resulting for visceral fat decrease. For exercises, I would say the same that Dr. Nelson said in the beginning. You should do what is best for you, always stretching a little bit more. Pay attention, a little bit more, so you don't hurt yourself. So either walking or strength training, or and if you have your hip replacement and you can't sprint anymore, or someone who couldn't sprint by walking, by standing, right? You could try sprinting on a treadmill. I don't know if that would be good for your hip replacement. To be honest, it might be a lot too much as well. You could try, for other people who have not had hip replacements or surgeries that would be difficult, you could try sprinting on an elliptical. And if you would have a pool around you without chlorine, because you don't want to be exposed to chlorine because it's not good for your microbiome and inflammation. But if you would have a pool, like for example with salt water, you could definitely walk on the pool or try like walking faster on your pool as well. And there are other exercises that work like as sprinting, like how do you call this, row, right? Row, when you do row
Rowing,
like
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, rowing could work almost like as if you are sprinting. And the high interval exercises that you do until you are until failure, they also have the similar effect than sprinting. Sprinting might have a little bit more, but like push-ups until you failure. I'm not going to tell you to do that, but jump jacks for whoever could do it until you failure. These exercises are also good in decreasing stress, decreasing cortisol, and helping with visceral fat. But the nutrition is the main thing that you should focus very well. Yeah.
All right. So Tony makes a comment which we kind of touched on. The high fat is not the cause of the gout. That is not. Uh, when you have gout, the medical doctors will tell you to decrease the amount of purines in your diet. Meat is not in the high purine list, by the way. You can look it up. Uh, Low purine diet or high purine diet. So usually categorized by low, medium, and high. The muscle meat, the steaks, are not in the high purine category. The organs are, though. All right. So organs and a few other things, carnivore, maybe you don't want to have those. But really, it seems that the effect of fruit sugars, fructose in particular, in your diet elevates uric acid and increases your risk of having uh, gout. All right. Uh, so main runner is going to have a 5K.
Wow.
She's been training
Three,
for a while, so in 12 days, I guess.
three
Oh,
5Ks.
oh, three of them.
I know. Wow. Ooh, wow. Yes. Congratulations. Yes. Wow. My quads are
Okay.
still a little bit sore. Multiple hills in the middle of the race. Yeah. Yeah. You are definitely training a lot. Congratulations.
Uh, Aisha, I'm hopefully pronouncing that correctly. 2 months carnivore, lost 25 pounds, easy, limited exercise. Concerned if I add exercise, I'll get too hungry. Weight loss will stall. Pros and cons of getting to go weight before adding more exercise. What do you think about that?
Uh I think that you should add more exercise because in your journey of losing weight, you don't want to leave exercise out, especially strength training, because when you lose fat, you always lose muscle, no matter what kind of diet or program you are doing. And you want to avoid losing muscle for different reasons. First reason, because your muscles increase your metabolic rate, so you could eat a little bit more. Second reason, because you don't want to replace your muscles by fat or lose muscles because they are important for your health and being stable and posture and bones and bone density, avoiding like osteopenia and osteoporosis and fractures. And so you want to keep building your muscles instead of losing them. And third, because your muscles are related to your bone, to your memory as well. There are new research showing that muscle is memory. So you definitely want to keep building muscles. Regarding if you feel more hungry, I don't know if that is a belief that you have, that it might be holding you back. But one thing that you could do too is whenever you feel that you are hungry, when you exercise, and when you don't, and when you are not exercise, just when you feel that you're hungry, before you eat something, pause like for 5 minutes and ask yourself, am I really hungry? Like, for example, I don't like, suppose I don't like eggs. I do, but suppose I don't like eggs. If I'm hungry, I would be able to eat eggs because I'm hungry. But if I am not hungry, if I only feel like some appetite, I will not, I will pass the eggs, right? So I would ask yourself, Am I really hungry? Or am I thirsty? Drink your water and drink your electrolytes because they definitely make you feel fuller as well. Or am I eating some kind of emotions, which could be this belief that you would get hungry after you exercise. But do not let any of these stop you from exercising, because definitely it's important to build muscle, build bones while you are losing fat and weight. Yes.
So I don't know that if I go out for a walk or run, I'm gonna get hungry right after. But if there's any truth to this, would be this way. I think you exercise, and that helps increase your muscle mass. When you increase your muscle mass, you increase, guess what? Your metabolic rate. Okay.
Yes.
And in the long run, maybe you find yourself, okay, I need to eat a little bit more. But if you're eating the right things, that is not a bad thing.
Yes.
So if you're doing carnivore, basically you're eating uh, fat and muscle. And I cannot tell from your picture whether you need much more weight loss, but uh, whenever you're trying to lose weight, you may decrease the amount of fat or the total amount of food that you're eating. Uh, some of us have had a pattern of binging when we eat. In other words, we go to a buffet where food is available, and we keep eating. And my father used to tell us make the comment that when we keep eating is because our little bell in our brain is broken. That
Yeah.
when it ding ding ding, you're full, and that is actually sort of true. Basically, our
Yes.
stomach communicates to our brain, and we learn through bad patterns in behaviors before. We have learned to go past that. So you need to relearn to know when you're full and you shouldn't be eating more. Your body will tell you, right?
Yes.
And there is such a thing as leptin resistance. Leptin is the hormone that tells you, hey, you've had enough. But sometimes our system doesn't identify that. So
Yes.
it's a relearning when we do these things to listen to our body. Uh, you should always eat slow, is my opinion. Allow your body to start its process and to tell you when you're done. Okay.
Yes. And I love that you said that it's a process of learning, because it when you are learning, like when you are learning to walk, you fall, you stand back and you keep walking. So when you are learning, you allow yourself to get some step backs, but not beating yourself up. Just stand up and keep going, right? Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you for the advice. He says I need to lose about 20 more pounds. This is always the weight I get stuck at. So I think it's all in my mind now. Well, as we lose weight, most people's experience is they have a rapid weight loss at the beginning of whatever change they do, and then it slows down. And that is the normal process. Then the closer you get to that ideal body weight, whatever it is for you, if it's your goal, or if you're going by standards of, by BMI is this number, the closer you are to the goal, the slower it will be because your body is resistant to lose weight. Your body doesn't want to lose weight. It didn't have excess weight either. We cause that most of the time by our patterns of eating. But so it's gonna take you longer to lose the last 20 pounds when it was easy to lose the first 20 pounds or whatever the amount is. I'm just
Yeah. And also be mindful, because that's something that is the mindset, right? Also be mindful that you might have told yourself that you still have to lose 20 pounds, but that might be an ideal goal when you were way younger, or that might be an ideal goal without you doing like other strategies that are changing the composition of your body. Because when you start gaining muscle, you start getting more definition, and it doesn't, and you're not going to be losing weight on the scale, because you are losing the fat and you are gaining the muscle. 1 pound of fat is 1 pound of muscle, so it doesn't really matter. But 1 pound of fat in your body is a flabby body, while 1 more pound of muscle in your body is a toned body. So you might be thinking you need to lose 20 more pounds because you are imagining a skinny body without the fat, but you haven't put in your brain yet that maybe the 20 pounds that you want to lose, if they become muscle, you are still going to lose skinny, but with way more definition and stronger. Like, and I can tell you from my, and that's why it's important to have some numbers. If you don't have an MRI, doesn't matter. It's important to have some numbers, like Dr. Nelson said, which is simple, because when you look at these numbers, you can see, wait a second, I have not lost many pounds in the scale, but I have lost 6 pounds of fat and I gained 4 pounds of muscle. So that is why in your scale, you would be 2 pounds lighter, but you are way better, right? So technically, maybe you don't need to lose 20 pounds of you don't need to lose 20 pounds on the scale, because you are shifting the composition in your body, and these pounds will be muscle, which will be beneficial for you. So that's something to consider as well.
And this may not make much of a difference when we're talking about 1 or 2 pounds or even five. But the trick question some people ask, or the riddle, what weighs more, 1 pound of fat or 1 pound of muscle? Well, if you listen to the question, it's 1 pound, right? But
Yes.
one but 1 pound of muscle occupies less space than 1 pound of fat. Okay? So when we're talking about 20 pounds that you lose of fat, let's say you regain 20 pounds of muscle, that's going to occupy much less space. So when you lose fat and gain muscle, you may not see much changes on the scale, but your clothes will tell you, your waist, your belt, you will notice. So even if you
Yeah.
never get to that ideal, I have a weight that if I ever get to it, it will be great. But at 65 years old, it's going to be more difficult to achieve my weight when I was 17. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so
I agree.
sometimes we need to accept also the realities of life, right?
Yeah, I agree. Instead of, together with having your ideal weight on the scale, have also an ideal look. Like, how do you want to look in your clothes? How do you want your body to look like? Because, like Dr. Nelson said, you might not be losing the weight on the scale, but when you look in your body, in your mirror, and look at your body, you can see that you are way more toned. You can see the muscles, you can feel the muscles. So that's gonna make a way better difference than just the scale, right? Yes.
All right. Do you do any fasting?
I do. I fast every day. In fact, I fast at least 18 hours every day. And when I am not hungry, I extend it until like when I am hungry. Um, but usually I do like at least 24 hours or 48 hours a week. And then I'm kind of working on doing 72 hours at least once a month. I know that I probably would benefit on doing 72 hours more often. But the 72 hours, I still feel some kind of sluggish. So it's still a process for me. I could never do your 5 or 7. Well, I know I'm not going to say that because it's a limiting belief. Uh, as for now, I'm not ready to do your 5 or 7
Not
days.
yet, not yet.
Not yet, not yet,
Okay.
not yet.
So I think, fasting, first of all, maybe anything beyond 5, 7 days, I wouldn't claim that anybody needs to do anything longer than that. So by yet, don't try to be a martyr going longer. But
Yeah,
it's like with training. Main runner, for example, I've been training for these marathons, and you have to build up to it.
yep,
So if you've never done a 48 hours fast, don't try to go for a 7 day fast. You
yeah,
need to build up to it. So you start by restricting the times that you eat during the day, and maybe you start by not eating for 16, 18 hours,
yep,
and then you go to maybe 23, and then you eat, right? And then throw in skipping a day of eating. That's what I call it, skipping a day. I don't care about the day before, the day after, what times you eat, but you're going to end up somewhere between 36 and 48 hours if you skip a day of eating. Because if yesterday I ate at 6 p.m. and I don't eat until tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., that's a 36 hours fast.
yes,
So, and then you go for the 2 days and the 3 days, and you work yourself up to whatever your goal is. But if you do at least skip a day of eating on a regular basis, my opinion, because there are many opinions on this, right? But my opinion will be, do it once a week and do that. When you're eating a even a low carb, if you're eating even vegetables and fruits and nuts or anything like that, if you're keeping your total carbohydrates per day under 20, most people don't get hungry
yes,
as often. So it has the effect of not not being hungry, and it's easier to do these time restrictions uh, in the times that we eat, because we don't need to be eating all the time.
yes. And I like what you said. Uh, oh God, I'm just trying to like start and keep. What did you say again? Start and uh, my brain, my ADHD, start implement increasing. No, you said a very good good word.
Well, you start with time restrictions, and then you work yourself up
Yeah,
gradually.
work yourself up. Work yourself up. That's what I was going to say. It's for everything, right? It's for the fasting, it's for the walking, it's for the strength training, it's for the sprinting if you're going to do sprinting. Work yourself up, because if you try to do much more than you would be able without hurting yourself, in fact you're going to end up giving up, because you're only going to remember the bad feelings that you are feeling from overwhelming yourself, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
working up.
try,
Yeah,
trying too much too soon, it just sets you up for failure.
yes,
And this is not about sprinting, it's a marathon.
yes,
Do
this
try
is
to
not about.
sprint if you can as far as exercise, but
Yep,
these changes in your diet are not, you don't go from one day to the other doing the extreme on everything, because you're going to set up yourself for failure, right?
yeah, it's one step at a time, and progress, not perfection. And we see so many things, like there's so much knowledge, there's so much information, and we put everything on our paper and we look, and oh my God, we have like 50 different strategies. Do not feel like that. Look at the strategies you have and start the ones that resonate with you, and then start slowly, and then start stacking habits, and then suddenly you see that you are doing 10 or 15, and then you can add a little bit more. So yes, and I like Dr. Nelson said about the working up as well, because if you paid attention on what he said, I started 6 p.m. and I'm going to go until 6 a.m. Guess what? The time that he's sleeping counts as fasting. And he's sleeping, so he's not even thinking about food. So that's awesome. Use your nights to help you with
Yeah.
your fasting.
And
Oh,
you
thank
know,
you.
if the I never fasted actually in my whole life, even though I grew up and I still am a member of a religion that occasionally will do a fast. But as growing up, I was never able to do a 24-hour fast. And even when I went uh, on a strict keto diet and I
Hmm.
was losing some weight and I was feeling good, it was not until I went carnivore that, like 3 or 4 days after I started, uh, just all of a sudden, I wake up one day. I knew when I woke up that I was not going to eat all day. And I, I said, wow, just completely almost elated and just not hungry. So next day, I ate, to tell you the truth, because I was a little bit scared. I said, wait,
Right.
what is
Yeah.
this? I think I'm going to go ahead and have my meal, but I wasn't even hungry.
Yes.
And so you don't need to do a 7 day or even 5 days. If you do a regular, skip one day a week, maybe do once a month, a 3 day fast or something like that, doing it on a regular basis. So, what are the benefits for that, Dr. Ann?
Fasting. Oh, fasting has lots of good benefits. Fasting promotes, leads your body to do something called autophagy, which is your body is eating the cells that not are not working properly, like precursor of cancer cells or starving cancer cells, or old cells that are not good anymore. So everything that it's old or not working properly in your body, it will work up in cleaning, and in cleaning all of them from your body. It also boosts your immune system, so it helps like with fighting inflammation, cold, any other kind of diseases. Fasting leads you to ketosis, which is when your blood sugar goes very low, so improves insulin resistance, decreases visceral fat, decreases inflammation and chronic diseases. Fasting leads to increase the use of the healthy fats, the hydroxybutyrate, for your brain. So improves clarity of thinking, improves cognition, improves your energy. So yes, there are so many good things. But again, start slowly and keep working it up. Yes.
Yeah, and this is not to have it as a badge of honor. Oh, I fasted for this
No.
long. If you're incorporating fasting in your lifestyle, it's because you do know that there are some positive health effects, but don't do it because I want to make it 7 days, and by day 3 or 4 you're feeling crummy and you have a headache and you have
Yeah.
go ahead and eat. So you don't
Yes.
have to be a martyr. Uh,
Yes.
you have to work yourself up to those distances. So sometimes I try to fast on Mondays, but probably end up not doing it half the time because if I start not feeling good or I'm really hungry, I'll go ahead and eat. But
Yes.
sometimes doing something hard is good as well.
Yes.
Sandy has a comment. Dr. Rosa is delightful.
Thank you so
All right.
much. I appreciate that.
All right. Dr. Nelson. Now, I want Dr. Rosa to answer this too. But when you do a 1 day fast, what time do you start? Well,
Uh okay, go ahead.
and doesn't go for 24 hours. I just, when I usually, if I decide to fast, when I get up in the morning, I'm not going to have anything to eat that day. So it depends on what time yesterday I ate the last time. Sunday, because I knew I was going to start, I ate like three small meals, which I never do. But I said, today I'm eating anything because I'm fasting for the next 6 days. My plan is until Saturday. But uh, it doesn't matter the time, but if you purposely trying to fast, do look at the clock. I ate at 6 p.m. yesterday. I'm not going to eat until 6 p.m. today. That's 24 hours. If it's going to be 6 p.m. the next morning, well, you already did a 36-hour fast. And
Absolutely.
basically take account of what time it was. All right, let's go. It's already 4 o'clock, so let's see. Take one more question here. So if I have a meal that I go until 6 p.m. following day, 24 hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically it. All right. So
Someone
what?
said Someone said, I never sleep well the first night with the fasting. That could happen because of the increased energy, right? From getting out of the high blood sugar. What I would suggest, two things. I would suggest being getting hydrated with your electrolytes, making sure that you are not dehydrated. And the other thing I would suggest is when I feel like I'm not going to sleep well, I always have my magnesium that I take 1 or 2 hours before going to bed. It's magnesium with L-theanine, and it definitely helps with sleep. So I like having my magnesium at night. Yeah.
All right. So just about an hour before starting here, I checked my ketones. It was zero point 0.6. Now I had some coffee in the morning. I'm fasting, but I did have some coffee and drinking some water with electrolytes. Uh, so that may have or may not affect it. And my lingo right now hasn't given me a reading for a few minutes, but the last reading was 82. Uh,
Yeah. And someone said, move, move, move from a low impact workup slowly to the ability to your physical condition. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
all
Move,
right.
move, move.
Hashtag KMT for the chance of having a hat.
Yes.
Now, if you don't want to have a hat, we'll send you a shirt. Okay?
And
So
I am on Instagram, Ana Rosa Gratitude. Dr. Nelson said I could say that to you guys.
yeah.
I am releasing a challenge this week soon, and it's called Optimize You. The nutrition and movement strategies are the nutrition and movement strategies that almost everybody talks about, just with a little bit of my personal touches. However, the program has 4 pillars. So one is nutrition and hydration, second is movement and sleep, the third is mindset. I really want for us to talk about beliefs, thoughts, behaviors that are holding us back and how we move out from them. And the fourth is about neuroplasticity, rewiring your brain in building sustainable success for life. So I would love for you all, or your friends, or family members, or neighbors, for you to come to my Instagram page and register yourself up to the end of this week. I haven't released it yet, but it's going to be released maybe tomorrow, but it's going to start Saturday. So I would love for you guys to come in and be with us. Yes, it's gonna start Saturday, October 11th. You guys are gonna have a community in the Mighty Community app for accountability partnership. Saturdays a live that I'm gonna discuss the topics, and you guys will have question and answers. Tuesdays and Thursdays in the community, some kind of check-ins from me. And it is $48 for the whole program from October 11th until December 1st, and 48 because it's my husband's birthday, who is in heaven, and I'm honoring him. So I would love to invite each one of you, and thank you so much, Dr. Nelson, for having me here and for being so kind.
Thank you for being here. Uh, so, again, where can they find you if they want to check out the challenge?
Instagram, Ana Rosa Gratitude.
Okay. Search for Ana Rosa Gratitude. You will find her very quickly there. And
Thank you so very much.
there is a question on Instagram by Star Blue. What is the safest lower blood sugar level when fasting? Thank you. So, what do you think, Dr. Anna? What
Well,
is the safest lowest blood sugar?
I will start with me. My blood sugar is usually, he said blood sugar or blood pressure?
Blood sugar.
Oh, blood sugar. Okay, so I would say pay attention to how you're feeling, because it's not about a number, it's about how you are feeling. Like you are feeling dizzy, if you are feeling like as if you're gonna faint, if you are having tachycardia, if you are sweating and it's that kind of clammy cold sweat, and if you are kind of like without attention, not knowing what's happening around you, that's definitely not good, and not necessarily will be only blood sugar. It could be also like uh, blood pressure or something else. So pay attention in your body, and if you start feeling anything that it's not comfortable and it's not your usual, definitely you might want to interrupt your fasting and drink your water with electrolytes, same as we discussed with the sauna, right? Pay attention. It's the awareness of your body. You know your body better than everybody else, and it's not a number, it's how you feel.
So, unless you're taking medications for diabetes, and not all medications for diabetes, by the way, this doesn't apply, for example, we're not going to have a long discussion because we're past the 4 o'clock hour, but if you're taking metformin, metformin doesn't push your glucose down. It just makes your body more sensitive to insulin, among other things. Do three things to do that. But unless you're taking medications to lower your blood sugar, certain oral hypoglycemics or insulin, you're not going to have hypoglycemia, first of all. Second, the only time I consider hypoglycemia significant, I don't care about the number. Are you having symptoms of hypoglycemia? Because I personally have had my blood sugar in the 50s, low 50s. I didn't have a symptom
Me
because I
too.
was also in a higher level of ketosis, and your brain is using your ketones. So the number by itself is not as important as whether you're having symptoms of hypoglycemia. And if you're having symptoms of hypoglycemia and you didn't take any medications to lower your blood sugar, it's very likely because you have hyperinsulinemia and your circulating levels of insulin is high. And if you're feeling the effects, then go and have something. Okay. I have some glucose tablets. You can buy them at the pharmacy for very little. It's not expensive. I may have paid $10 for that bottle. And so that's the short answer. We don't have time for that, for more. Okay, so KMT for a gray hat. Okay. And if you don't want the gray hat, oh,
Oh,
Tony,
thank you, Tony.
Tony, congratulations, my friend.
Yes.
So I will have Alia email Alia. Alia at drkiltz.com, DOCTOR Kiltz.com, and we'll send you the gray hat. And I'm going to send you something else, Tony. Uh, all right. So thank you very much, Dr. Ana Rosa.
Thank you.
Uh, very grateful that you were able to do this today. And have a great day. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., we'll be back here with a live stream. Okay, so have a great
Thank
day.
you. You all.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.